Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, is the second Star Wars movie that we've ever gotten in history, and it is the 5th Star Wars movie chronologically. Now, I absolutely love this film. Not only is it one of my favorite Star Wars films, but it is one of my favorite films, period. Now, I think I failed in mentioning this in some of my other videos, but spoiler alert for anyone that watches these videos, yeah, these are going to be spoiler-heavy videos, so... Now, I'm absolutely excited about talking about this movie because it is absolutely one of my favorite films because, again, it is a sequel. And like in my Hunger Games Catching Fire review, I said that it was the Empire Strikes Back of the franchise. Well, I'm going to pretty much tell you why I love this movie just off the title, Empire Strikes Back, and how this is one of the best sequels ever made in terms of not just special effects, but character, story, plot, and execution. So The Empire Strikes Back, it takes place sometime after the events of A New Hope. The Empire is pursuing the rebels big time because, you know, you don't just blow up the Death Star without the Empire being all like,
"Oh, hell no!"
Now, the movie starts off on the snow planet of Hoth. And we see Luke Skywalker, he's pretty much scouting the perimeters of the rebel base, but he is attacked by the Wampa creature. He's taken it back into his cave. Now, this particular party has one of my favorite moments. Is when Luke is hanging upside down, he's trying to get down, but he's stuck in the ice part of it, and he's trying to reach for his lightsaber, so he gets in. So what does he do? He uses the Force. See, in the first film, he was a little Force sensitive, but we actually see him use the Force a little frequently, and he's starting to come there as a Jedi. He cuts the Wampa's arm off, and he escapes the cave. But he's a little stuck because, you know, it's nighttime and there's a snowstorm coming through, the temperature is dropping down rapidly, and then eventually he just faints. Now, all the original characters from the first film return as well. Like, we got Han Solo, he decided to stick around for the rebels. Then he has to leave because a bounty hunter that he ran into was looking for him from Jabba the Hutt, and so he has to leave. But before he leaves, he is sidetracked by finding out that Luke Skywalker, he's out there lost. So what does Han Solo do? He gets a tauntaun and he goes out there and finds his buddy. Now before Han Solo finds him, Luke, he's on the ground, he's fainted, he's in and out of sleep, but then he sees the Force ghost of Ben Kenobi, and he tells him, "Luke, you will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me." Then it fades away, and then Han Solo, he comes in, and he finds out Luke Skywalker, he's really about to die, he's cold. Han Solo's tauntaun, he faints to the ground, and so he has to cut it open, and then cover Luke Skywalker up with the dead tauntaun. And then Han Solo, he's like, "Whew, I thought they smelled bad on the outside." Long story short, the other rebels find him, they take him back to the base. Luke Skywalker, he is safe and nursed back to health. Now, real quick fun fact, if you ever noticed the difference of Mark Hamill's face between A New Hope and Empire, is because, well, in real life, Mark Hamill, the actor who plays Luke Skywalker, he got in a car accident and damaged his face. That's why George Lucas, he had the excuse of the creature damaging his face, and there's blood and everywhere, and so it kind of disfigured Luke Skywalker's face a little. But everyone is all back together, everyone is all fine and dandy, and then Han Solo, I like the relationship between Han Solo and Leia's relationship in this movie, and not just because of what happens later on in the movie, but because, you know, and it's a lot more funny because the two of them, they just go back and forth, and Han Solo, he's all like, "I think you just can't let a guy like me out of your sight." And then Leia, she's like, "I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain." And then Chewbacca, he's like, "Ugh." And then a couple seconds after that, Leia's like, "You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder." Who's scruffy-looking? And then Leia, she walks over to Luke talking about, "Well, I guess you don't know a lot about women then." And then she kisses Luke.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Long story short, the Empire, they find the rebels on the planet of Hoth, and they go down to pursue them. And Darth Vader, he is personally pursuing Luke Skywalker. So all this leads to the Battle of Hoth, which is one of the coolest scenes in this entire saga. And I swear, like, I was just watching this on Blu-ray the other day, and just watching the special effects in this particular scene, it still holds up. And they use animatronics and the special effects, just the special effects alone in the scene. It's just, I just watched that on Blu-ray the other day, just talking about, like, dude, that's the best. Now back to Darth Vader a little bit. Again, you know, the Empire not only is pursuing the rebels, but Darth Vader personally, he's pursuing Luke Skywalker. And now, at that point, we don't know why, but we just know why. And I love Darth Vader in this movie, because Darth Vader in this movie, he gives zero fucks in this movie. If nothing doesn't come through, he is choking generals left and right. Like, when we first see him, he's like, "That is there, and I'm sure Skywalker is with them." Then later Vader, he's in that little chamber by himself, meditating or whatever, and then he's in a transmission with the other generals, and then they try to tell him that then Vader, he uses the Force to force choke him to death, talking about, "You have failed me for the last time, General. Captain Nita, you are in charge." Another one of the coolest things I loved about this movie is that it divides the original crew. Han, Leia, Chewie, and C-3PO, they all escape, but I'll get back to them later. Luke Skywalker, he's going on his little side quest to go to the Dagobah system and find this Yoda. Now, when we first land on the Dagobah system, you get to see the scope of Dagobah. It's just this nasty, forest-like place. No one wants to live there. There's so many unidentified creatures there. You don't know what's on this planet. And once Luke and R2 they get settled, they meet Yoda sneaking up on them. And we see Yoda for the first time. Fifth, watching this in chronological order with the prequels, but this is the first time we see Yoda, and he is in puppet form. And I commend Frank Oz and crew for bringing this puppet to life, because if this little puppet failed, this whole series would have failed just right there. But the way they made it work and believable, I just love it. And we meet Yoda for the first time, and he's just this annoying little elf-like creature that's just annoying, talking about, "Away with your weapons! I mean you no harm. I am wondering, why are you here? You found a friend, you have." and then he goes digging into Luke's food and stuff or whatever. And Luke's all like, "Hey, that's my dinner. I'll help you find your friend again. Mine! Or I will help you not. I don't need your help. I need my lamp pack. I'm gonna need to get out of this slimy mud hole." "Mud hole? Slimy? Creepy? My home this is!" "I'm looking for a Jedi Master." "Yoda. You shake Yoda." "Yes, I will take you to him, but first we must eat." Now at that point, little does Luke know that the person that he's talking to is Yoda, and he's in the house feeding him, and Yoda asks him, and it looks like, "Because of my father." Powerful Jedi he was. How do you know who my father is? You don't even know who I am. I don't know what we're doing here, but we're wasting our time. And then at that moment, Yoda, he switches like that, talking about, "I can't teach him. The boy has no patience." And then we hear the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan talking about, "He will learn patience. Was I no different?" And then the way Luke, he switches up, I'm like, wait a minute. Ben, Yoda. I just love how Yoda, he just switched like that from this annoying little creature to this wise old being that knows all about the Force and is a Jedi Master. And even when I was watching this a couple of days ago, I actually watched this movie twice because that's how much I like the movie, and I was just in the mood for it. But I watched this movie twice, and particularly just for this one speech that for as many years have I seen this movie, it completely went over my head. It's just this little speech that Yoda gives to Luke. And it's after Luke is all like, "Ben, I could be a Jedi. Ben, tell him I'm ready." "Ready are you? Ready are you? Who and what knows ready? For 800 years have I trained Jedi. A Jedi must have the deepest commitment. A serious mind. This one, a long time have I watched. All his life as he looked away to the future, to the horizon, and never his mind on where he was. What he was doing. Adventure. Heh. Excitement. Heh. A Jedi craves not these things. You are reckless. He is too old to begin the training." Look, I just love that little speech, especially the part where he's like, "Adventure, excitement. A Jedi craves not the things." He's pretty much saying a Jedi doesn't go looking for trouble. A lesson that also told me this in The Lion King. And it blows my mind that after all these years of watching this movie, it went over my head. And then the icing on the cake is when Luke is all like, "I won't fail you. I'm not afraid." You will be. You will be. So Yoda, he goes on to train Luke Skywalker. And as we can see, Luke Skywalker, he's pretty much getting there as a Jedi, jumping around using the Force or whatever, and Yoda's teaching him how to clear his mind. Even up to the point where Luke Skywalker, he goes into this little cave, and then he sees this little ghost-like figure that resembles Darth Vader, and then Luke Skywalker, he brings out his lightsaber. It's all in slow motion. I love that, like that little sequence, because little do we know that it's a little foreshadowing. They fight for literally 2 or 3 seconds or whatever. Luke cuts off Vader's head, and the head goes on the ground, and then it blows up, and it's Luke Skywalker's face in the Darth Vader helmet, which is foreshadowing of what Luke Skywalker could become. Then the next scene is Luke, he's trying to bring his ship out of the swamp, and then he tries to use the Force to get it out, but then Luke Skywalker, he doesn't believe, and he thinks he can't get it out. And then he tells Yoda, "I can't. It's too big. Judge me by my size. do you? Size matters not. You must feel the force around you. Luminosity, not this crude matter. It surrounds us, combines us. Like Yoda said, it's not this microscopic bacteria in your bloodstream called midichlorians. So Yoda, he goes up, he gets the ship out himself so gracefully and without no struggle. And I love the music of that particular scene. Okay, so jumping back to here, so Luke, Leia, Chewie, and C-3PO, after they escape Hoth, the Empire, they're pursuing them. And I love that particular scene as well, because it's like the banter between all of them in the Millennium Falcon. Leia, she's still buzzing shit at him, and then C-3PO, he's just being annoying. They're trying to escape the situation. Now, what I also love about this movie is it's a small tool in the movie, and it's the fact that the Millennium Falcon, it won't go into light speed, and it plays a part near the end of the movie. They're trying to go into light speed, but it doesn't, so now it builds up tension from them trying to escape from the Empire. Almost to the point where they are forced to go into this asteroid field. And then Leia, she's like, "You're not going to actually go into an asteroid field, are you?" And then I was like, "They'd be crazy to follow us." And at that moment, I was like, hey, he's right, Now this is yet another scene where I'm just amazed by the special effects. Because a little fun fact, those asteroids, those are pretty much potatoes. That's how they were able to pull that scene off. And then it just made it look real and realistic. And then just watching the ship and the music to go with it, they're trying to escape those two TIE fighters. And then eventually they have to go inside this asteroid field to what they thought was a cave. And then they're just pretty much just stuck there trying to fix the ship, trying to figure out why it won't go into hyperspeed. And they figured out that it's the hyperdrive, it's deactivated or something. It needs to be replaced. Also through this whole segment, the relationship between Han and Leia, it builds up. Now to me, this is the most unforced love scene I've ever seen in cinema. Leia, she's not a fan of scoundrels, but she is fond of Han. And then the two of them, they just get together, and she's like, "I like you occasionally when you're not acting like a scoundrel." And then even that kiss, it just felt organic, real, and not forced. But then eventually cock blocked by C-3PO. And so later on, they find out that they are not in a cave. They're in some kind of creature within the asteroid field. And so they're able to escape, but then they run into the Empire again. Now, also jumping back to this other place, we get more time with Darth Vader, and he's in his little chamber thing again, and then one of the generals, he comes in, the helmet is coming down on him, but it pans down, and we see, like, a really damaged head of Darth Vader. And at that point, you're like, wait, is he human? Like, he really needs that thing, but at that point, we don't really know what the deal is with him. But we even get more dickery from Darth Vader. They find out that the Millennium Falcon went into the asteroid field, and then Darth Vader, he's all like, "Asteroids don't concern me, General. I want that ship, not excuses." One of the other coolest things about this movie is we see the Emperor for the first time in hologram 4, though it is the 4th time chronologically with the prequels, but yeah. Now, I also want to take a moment to talk about the changes made to the special editions, and generally speaking, I have no problem with the changes they made for The Empire Strikes Back. Like, for example, we get more pretty much face or full shots of the Whopper creature on the Hoth planet. That was cool. Then George Lucas, he added some windows and expanded Bespin a little bit. He made it look less claustrophobic and made it feel more open. That's fine. But the biggest change he made for The Empire Strikes Back is with the Emperor. In the original cut of the movie, they just got this woman to pass off to look like the Emperor with the voice of Clive Revel, gave her monkey eyes to make her feel more old and disfigured. But in the special edition, he replaced him or her with Ian McDiarmid, who actually played the Emperor in Return of the Jedi and in the Star Wars prequels, which actually makes sense. But then we learn in that little scene, we see the Emperor, he's all like, "We have a new enemy, the young rebel who destroyed the Death Star. I have no doubt this guy is an offspring of Anakin Skywalker. So it's your feelings, Vader. You know it to be true." And Vader's like, "If he could be turned, he could become a powerful ally." And then the Emperor's like, "Yes, he would be a great asset. Can it be done, Lord Vader? He will join us or die." After that, for more from Darth Vader, we get more dickery from him. Is when the Empire, they get a hold of the Millennium Falcon, but then they lose it again. And then Captain Vader, he goes to apologize to Darth Vader for losing them. And then we cut to a scene where he's just on the ground. We don't even see the choke. He's just on the ground fighting for his life and for breath. And Darth Vader walks past him like, "Apology accepted, Captain Vader." And then we also see Boba Fett for the first time, where Darth Vader, he hires a bunch of bounty hunters. Vader's like, there will be a substantial reward for whoever finds the Millennium Falcon. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegrations. As you wish. Oh, another change they made for this is they put in the guy that plays Jango Fett in Episode 2. They put in his voice over Boba Fett's voice, which it does make sense, but at the same time, it's like, do we really need that? Long story short, Han and the others, they go to Bespin, where they meet up with Lando Calrissian, who is played by Mr. Colt 45 himself, Billy D. Williams. He's rocking the Billy D. Williams stash too. Lando Calrissian, he's pretty much just another smuggler like Han Solo, and this gambler card player, as Han Solo said. And Leia asked, "Do you trust him?" Han's like, "No. He doesn't have love for the Empire, I can tell you that." But they meet up with him, he's all friendly or whatever, he's all fine, hey, we're all friends here, just come on, hey, come on. And I even like the part where he meets Leia for the first time, he's like, "Oh, hello, what have we here? I'm Lando Calrissian, I'm the administrator of this facility. And who might you be?" "Welcome, Leia. You certainly belong here with us in this Cloud City." I just like that part because it's just how he just automatically switched like that. I don't think that was Lando Calrissian trying to hit on Leia. I think that was Billy D. Williams trying to hit on Carrie Fisher, trying to put on his player moves, you know. Now let's cut back to Dagobah system. Luke Skywalker, he has visions of suffering from his friends, and he has to go to Bespin to go save them. But then Yoda and even Force Ghost Ben Kenobi, they come down. Yes, Luke, I am coming down in Ghost Force form. That I am telling you, this is not going to help anyone. This is just going to make the situation worse. You need to stay here. Your friends maybe just made to suffer. But Luke, he insists on going, and he's just not having it. As Luke is taking off, there's a little side convo between Yoda and Ben, talking about that boy is our last hope. And then Yoda says, "No, there's another." At that point, wait, what? There's another? What do you mean another? Now at that point, we don't know what it means by that. So yeah, so now we come back to Bespin. Lando, he's taking Han and the others to have dinner, but then he opens the door, and it turns out Darth Vader, he is at the other end of the table waiting for them. He gets up, Chewie screams at him, and then Han Solo, he sees it, and he grabs his blaster, and he goes, and then Vader, he's all like, "We would be honored if you would join us." But I just love that, you know, because that shows how serious of a person Han is. He sees Darth Vader, he's like, "Oh shit, Han!" He shot first. Yeah, take that, Lucas. But Lando, he's all like, "I had no choice. I got here first. I'm sorry." And then everyone is all giving Lando shit for betraying them. But at the same time, it's like, okay, Han, Leia, alright, seriously now, did y'all ever stop to think what Vader might have threatened Lando with to betray y'all? You know, perhaps Vader may have told Lando, "Alright, look, here's the deal. Either you're gonna give up Solo, or I'm gonna skin every last man, woman, and child on this Cloud City." And then at that point, Lando, he has no choice. He's just all like, "Fuck! Fine." They also like the little bit where he is torturing Han Solo, and they didn't even ask him questions. They're just doing that so that they can give visions over to Luke Skywalker so that he'll be tempted more to get them. Everything Vader is doing in this movie is so that he can get to Luke Skywalker. So the plan is Vader wants to freeze Luke Skywalker and carbonite so that he can bring him to the Emperor. But the thing is, they don't know if this can kill him or not. So Vader, he tests it on Han Solo. And I just love that little scene where Han Solo, he's getting frozen in carbon freeze. The tension is built up, and the music alone, it adds to it. Vader's like, "Put him in," but then Chewie, he's not having it. He's attacking everybody. He's throwing stormtroopers left and right, and then Han Solo, he's trying to calm down, like, hey, Chewie, come on now. This isn't gonna help me. This won't help me. The princess, you have to take care of her. And then Han, he looks at Leia. The two of them, they look at each other. It's like they realize this may be the last time they look at each other, at least for a long time. And so they kiss each other, and then Leia's like, "I love you." And then Han Solo says, "I know." Another quick fun fact, director Irvin Kershner, who actually directed this movie, not George Lucas, though George Lucas, he produced it, so his hands were still in this movie, but Irvin Kershner, he directed this, but Han Solo, he went off script. He wanted to say, "Hey, I think this is something that Han Solo would say, actually." And then Irvin Kershner was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not Lucas, we're going with it." And hats off to Irvin Kershner for making such a great sequel. Rest in peace. So Han Solo, he's going down, and I just love the music. The smoke is going up, and then he's actually frozen. And I remember when I saw it for the first time, I was a little scared because, you know, you don't see Han Solo, you just see a statue of Han Solo frozen. and you don't know if it's real or not or whatever. It's just that's traumatizing shit, man. But luckily, Han survived. So Vader tells Boba Fett he can take him because that's why Boba Fett is there, so that he can pursue Han Solo and take him back to Jabba the Hutt. Everything Boba Fett is doing in this movie is to get Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. But then a couple of seconds later, Vader's all like, Lando. And then Vader's like, take the princess and the Wookiee to my ship. And then Lando's like, I thought you said they would be staying here under my supervision. And then Vader's like, I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. One of my favorite catchphrases. And shout out to Chris Stuckman for pointing this out. When a couple of seconds when Vader leaves, and then Lando, he grabs his neck for a little bit, and that could have been Vader. He's giving Lando a warning, like, hey, I can do this to you. Don't tempt me, boy. Long story short, on this half of the climax, but Lando, he pretty much helps Leia try to escape. They get back to Han Solo, but Boba Fett, he had already gone off, so they have to go back to the Millennium Falcon, and they're able to escape. Now, back to this other half of the climax. Luke Skywalker, he fights Darth Vader in a lightsaber battle, and I just find this a lot more intriguing than the Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader fight in A New Hope. And I was just watching this the other day, and this had a lot more tension than I remembered. Luke Skywalker, he draws his lightsaber first, and wrong move, you don't draw first. And then Vader, Luke Skywalker, he's trying to hold his own with Vader, but you can tell Vader, he's one-handing him. Hell, Vader is even able to get Luke in the carbon freeze, and then Vader's like, all too easy. But then luckily, Luke, he actually gets out of carbon freeze, and then Vader sees him up there, and he's like, impressive. Most impressive. They square off for a little bit more, but then Luke kicks him off, and they go in this other room, and I just love the music. And that particular part, they're fighting off, and then they break that glass, and then the wind starts blowing in. Now, at that point, Luke, he's actually really holding his own towards Vader to the point where Vader's like, where Vader, he squares off with him for the third time in that other room, which is what I love. This is a longer lightsaber fight than it was in the last movie. But Vader, he's getting frustrated. He's all like, okay, that is it. I am swinging. Something might get cut off. I just love that sound effect. I'm telling you, have the bass checked up when you watch that scene. But again, Vader, he's getting mad, so then what does Vader do? He does this. Luke loses his hand. And then after that, Vader, he just starts going off talking about, Luke, you don't realize your importance. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. And then Vader, he drops a ball on Luke in the audience as well. Like, this was the plot twist of the century. This is the plot twist of all twists. I don't give a damn about M. Night Shyamalan. This is a plot twist right here. Vader's like, no, I am your father. And then I just love how that music just cues up, and then Luke is all like, no, that's not true. That's impossible. And Vader's like, search your feelings, you know it to be true. And then Luke's like, no, no. We can overthrow the Emperor. I have foreseen it. You could join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. And then Luke, he looks down below, and then he looks over at Vader, and Vader's like, come with me, it is the only way. And he's like, okay, you know what, screw this, bye. Like, to me, I feel like that was a real noble thing for Luke to do, because he realized what the whole ordeal was in the cave. When he saw himself in the Vader helmet, then he realized his possible fate, so he would rather die than to go down that path. Now, shout out to pretty much the 70s, because this is one of the things I love about the internet not existing in the 70s, because George Lucas, he really only told like two people. Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, and James Earl Jones, who plays the voice of Darth Vader. I think he told one other person, but he only had a select few people to tell this plot twist. He didn't even tell Irvin Kershner, the director of The Empire Strikes Back, because this was such a huge plot twist that he didn't want anyone for it to potentially get out to the public. David Prowse, who performed for Darth Vader, he actually said, Big Kenobi killed your father. Now, everyone is all shocked, but Mark Hamill, he knew what he was really reacting to. And even James Earl Jones himself, he was amazed. So long story short, Luke Skywalker, he's falling down to his supposed death, but he by chance falls into this little tube that leads him down to the bottom of the Cloud City and on this little antenna thing or whatever. And then he's just there calling out for someone and not knowing that he would call for Leia. Then Leia, he gets in and foreshadowing. But Leia and the others, they find Luke Skywalker, they get him, they save him. They have to escape the Empire again. And so they try to go into light speed for the third time. I forgot to mention the second time, but for the third time they try to go into light speed, and it is still not working. And I'm telling you, I just love everyone's reaction to that, because it's like, this is the third time they try to go into light speed, and now everyone is just like, R2-D2 is there. Darth Vader, he told the generals to send all their weapons for stun. Before they're able to do that, R2-D2, he realized that the hyperdrive was deactivated. He turns it on, and then they all just... And then I just love everyone's reaction on the Star Destroyer. And they're like, oh crap, they went into light speed. And then they're all scared, thinking Darth Vader's about to force choke someone out. But then he doesn't. Like, that's how Matt Vader was. He's like, alright, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not even going to force choke y'all. This is bullshit. Now, at this point, we're at the end of the movie. Luke Skywalker, he gets a new mechanical arm. He's there right beside Princess Leia and the droids. And then Lando and Chewie, they go on Tatooine to go see where Han Solo is. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. That's how you hook them. See you in 4 years. That is how you do a sequel. Alright, so obviously, if you can't really see how enthusiastic I am about how I've explained this film, like, if you can tell, I really love this movie. Like, to me, this is, like, there are 2 sequels in history that I think should be the poster child of what a sequel should be like. It's this and The Godfather Part 2, and particularly this movie. And it works as a sequel because of the story, the characters, the special effects. They just step it up in every way possible, and the execution of it was just perfect. Like, to me, this movie was everything I hoped the Avengers Age of Ultron would be. Now, granted, I love Age of Ultron, but it didn't really follow any beats from Empire Strikes Back. Like, this movie was just darker than the first movie. There were consequences, and not everything was resolved. That's what a 2 movie should be. Alright, look, no words can really explain how much I love this movie and how perfect I think it is. So of course, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, gets an A++. Whew. Alright, yeah, that's it for my review of Empire Strikes Back. And as you know, once a month I've been reviewing every single Star Wars movie, and now next month, November, I'm going to review Return of the Jedi, which is 1 movie away from The Force Awakens. Now, granted, I will say my review of the Return of the Jedi, it may come a little bit more late, because November, this is the month where the final Hunger Games film and Creed comes out, so I'm pretty much going to have all my attention towards those 2 franchises. But hey, that's why Force Awakens, it comes out on December 18th, so I can have enough time to finish Return of the Jedi. So that review may not come up till December, but yeah. So of course, in November, be on the lookout for my review of Mockingjay Part 1 and Rocky Balboa, and of course, Mockingjay Part 2 and Creed. And then after that, I'm back to Star Wars with Return of the Jedi, and then eventually Force Awakens. We're 1 more movie away from 3 franchises I'm reviewing. That's awesome! That's it for the day, and thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my other channel. The links are in the description below. And be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Periscope, and Movie Pilot. Peace.